last disaster struck for the UAP hearing with David Grusch today? Or is everything going to be just fine? Let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, I have just learned that Tim Burchett will not be leading the hearing today. Him and Representative Luna have been replaced as the heads of this hearing. Now, this is at odds with what Comer said just a week or so ago, and I shared that video with you guys. Comer is the actual head of the subcommittee on in the House of Representatives, but he was letting Tim and Luna lead the hearing because of their expertise in UFOs and their interest in that subject when he was really not. But let's go over this tweet. Tim Burchett says, I was just informed, along with Luna, that I will not be chairing the UAP hearing. So why? Has the cover-up stepped in and they have taken over? Is that what's going on? Here it says Robert Garcia will lead the hearing. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Robert Garcia has a tweet right here saying, to be clear, I'm not chairing the meeting. Republicans chair all the committee meetings in Congress when they are in the majority and they decide who chairs. As ranking member, my job is to lead the Democrats who are on the committee. So who exactly is going to chair this thing? We don't know yet. Tim and Luna will be there and they will be able to ask questions and give an opening statement, I believe is the case. But Tim will not be leading this hearing, apparently. But since Garcia is also not leading the hearing, I don't know who's leading the hearing. We will see in an hour or two. And by the way, I'm going live with Through the Glass Darkly, and we are going to do co-hosting a live stream when we will be watching the hearings live and giving you our live feedback and opinions. So, be sure to watch that. It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. But of course, a big fear is, why are Tim and Luna not leading the hearing? What is the deal? What is going on? Well, I don't know, but we do have some intriguing comments from Representative Andre Carson that we need to go over.
Congressman Andre Carson joins us now. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so curious to hear, what are you anticipating ahead of tomorrow? Is there a national security threat? The thought of the government holding back intel from the American people is quite a thought.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to see more public attention focused on the issue of UAPs, this time on the House Oversight Committee. However, I would advise my Republican colleagues leading this effort to do a lot more listening and not jump to unfounded conclusions. And, I really understand the importance of this issue, but, I've been sounding the alarm for years now. As you know, last session, I held the first UAP hearing in 50 years since Project Blue Book. It was an issue that was taboo to talk about. There were chuckles and sneers from colleagues, but interestingly, colleagues from both sides of the aisle expressed an interest in having more hearings. I think the challenge presents itself when we have open hearings and we're not giving our adversaries and opponents a strategic advantage by uncovering things otherwise they would have access to. So we have to be very careful that my colleagues don't trivialize this matter and make it a media circus to where they're giving and allowing others to put together context clues in terms of our assets globally.
Right. So what I hear you saying, sir, is you want the facts. You want it clear tomorrow. You made a reference to 50 years ago, and I believe, if we're not mistaken, then Representative Gerald Ford, and I have a quote in part that says, I am proposing hearings on the subject of UFOs and invite testimony from both the executive branch of the government and some of the persons who claim to have seen UFOs. So we have those witnesses tomorrow, allegedly. One of them who has allegedly would be providing testimony of witnessing those events. Tell me a little bit about the three witnesses who we'll be hearing from tomorrow and what you want to hear from them.
Well, we certainly want to hear from folks. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I held the hearing last year, the first hearing in over 50 years. I think that more people want answers. I can't speak to Mr. Grusch's claims, but I certainly believe I believe he has a right to come before the committee and the American people, quite frankly, in a way that still protects our national security without disclosing classified information. Whistleblowing is so important to the checks and balances of our government, and no federal employee or employee for that matter should feel discouraged from speaking out in fear of retribution or retaliation. So exposing any wrongdoing can really change very destructive and hurtful behavior and practices in the workplace. But it also allows us to hold government officials in particular accountable in the long term, making sure our democracy is stronger going forward.
Right, and being held accountable. I only have time for one quick question. There was a poll by Newsweek done that said 57% of Americans do believe the government is withholding information. Sir, are you one of those 57%? And if you are, can Americans handle the possibility of life outside of humans?
Well, the work last year was to destigmatize UAP reporting. I think that people are there, they're getting there. Obviously, there have been reactions in the past from 1947 even to H.G. Wells' A War of the Worlds, where folks were jumping out of buildings. But I think we've come to a different place thanks to science fiction and thanks to consistent reporting and groups like MUFON and others and documentarians. But the question becomes, is it otherworldly? Is it top secret? Or is it interdimensional? Stay tuned.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, well, I did like the fact that he touched on interdimensional, but he didn't answer the question, did he? She asked him if he believed in a cover-up, and he refused to answer the question. He dodged it very skillfully, as a matter of fact. So what does all this mean? Well, he talked about he was cautioning his Republican colleagues in the House not to trivialize and sensationalize the UFO issue, the UAP issue. So does that mean, the fix is in, that the cover-up has stepped in and they're using the veneer of, not trivializing the UFO issue in order to suppress the UFO issue? Is that what's going on? Or is this just all typical Congress, mechanics? And, Tim and Luna were never supposed to head the committee, the hearing, because Garcia came out a week or so ago in a tweet and said he was going to head the hearing. However, this is at odds with what Comer said when he said he was delegating this task to Tim. So what is the real story? Was, Tim supposed to lead the hearing? Was it supposed to be Garcia? Who is actually going to run this thing? What is going on? This seems like a circus and it hasn't even started yet. This is nuts. We'll just have to see how it all plays out. I was really not encouraged by Carson's words. For one thing, trying to turn it into a political thing, a partisan thing. It's my Republican colleagues that are, making this into a trivial thing. And we need to stop all that, crazy conspiratorial nonsense is kind of the vibe that I was getting from him. So he seems to be, part of the cover-up. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how else to interpret his words. I could imagine Sean Kirkpatrick saying much the same thing. So, that's where my mind goes, but we will see how the day progresses. Fingers crossed that the fix isn't in and the cover-up hasn't, swept in and is going to try to minimize this issue, not ask David Grusch the pertinent questions, or, if there's any potential whistleblowers or witnesses that were going to be called, some surprise witnesses, maybe they won't call them. We don't know yet. We don't know, But I am very alarmed by this this happening, this occurrence that Tim Burchett is not going to be leading the hearing. He is very committed, very outspoken on this issue. Comer said he was going to lead the hearing. Tim thought he was going to lead the hearing. So what is the deal? Why is Tim not leading the hearing? I really don't understand what is going on. I guess we will find out at the hearing. So yeah, again, fingers crossed that the cover-up hasn't come in and is trying to suppress all this stuff. But we will see how the day goes. Be sure to watch the live stream with me and Sean from Through the Glass Darkly. It's going to be a very fun live stream and a very feisty live stream, I have no doubt, because we're both going to be kind of ticked off that Tim Burchett is not leading the hearing. But he will be able to ask questions, is my understanding. So there is that. And we'll just have to see where it goes from there. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I would love to see you guys there. And there are plenty of other videos to check out on the channel. I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road signing off for now.